Hello and welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host Ahdurin himself, and welcome to the Wants to Battle Tag 2018 edition, brought to you by Birdkeeper Toby. Now, Birdkeeper Toby, fantastic Pokemon YouTuber that he is, decides to make this type of video every single year to both do a review of the previous year and introduce the next year for a lot of Pokemon channels that are up and coming, such as myself, that are trying to start a brand new Pokemon channel. I'm here with my co-host Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff, how are you doing today? It seems like Wigglytuff is doing fantastic. Now, this type of video, basically, I answer a number of different questions that Birdkeeper Toby has asked, and try to do a review of how last year went with all of the new additions to Pokemon, and what I think next year will look like for both my channel and Pokemon as a whole. With that said, let's get started with the first question. What is the video you are most proud of making this year or excited to make next year? Well, this year I've only made one video so far, made a couple of weeks ago, and that was Pokemon's Moon Emerald introduction compilation. He and his sister did a playthrough of Pokemon Moon Emerald, and his sister does not know Pokemon very well, so it was very interesting to watch and see Pokemon trying to teach her how to play Pokemon, and her making all of the silly mistakes that she made along the way, so that was definitely fun. As for next year, I think that the big project that I'm doing to start off the year is my Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team Nuzlocke. That's a mouthful, I know, but I think that this is going to be a really fun playthrough to try to Nuzlocke a game that doesn't normally get Nuzlocked, just because you need to make special rules and adjustments to the game. This is definitely going to be fun, and something that I start somewhere in January-ish, so be on the lookout for that. Advice for someone starting PokeTubing. I think that the big thing that you want to keep in mind is finding your special niche. There's something special about you that you can add to your Pokemon channel, and that's something that you want to share out and find so that you can really make your Pokemon channel grow. The big thing that I think I have are my voice acting skills. I think I'm a pretty solid voice actor. I do a lot of voices, impersonations, and stuff for my own amusement. And I think I want to introduce that and implement that into my channel. As well as that, I also love the spin-off games when it comes to Pokemon, which aren't necessarily explored as much in the YouTube world. I think that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Conquest, Ranger, all of these games are really fantastic, and as a result, I want to introduce a channel such as this one that give more light to those type of games. So what can your viewers expect from me next year? A lot of spin-off stuff. And when I say a lot of spin-off stuff, I mean more than your average Pokemon YouTuber. For example, the Mystery Dungeon Nuzlocke that I'm going to be planning on doing in the beginning of next year. But as well as that, I'm going to be having your Let's Plays, your theories, your top 10s, and much more, focused not only on the main world of Pokemon, but also on the spin-off games. I'd love to look at a lot of different theories about the spin-offs, especially when it comes to Mystery Dungeon and Ranger, which are two franchises that I think I've explored a lot when it came to Pokemon, and so expect that in the future. I hope you stick around for that in the upcoming months. Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee, the decision that many poor souls had to make in November. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a Switch, nor do I have these games, because I am a college kid, and that means I have no money. So I had to decide this from a viewer's standpoint, and that basically boils down to all of these Pokemon that you see here. Which of these lines do I think I prefer the most? Between Pikachu and Eevee, I didn't really have much of a difference between them. I think both of them are really awesome Pokemon. They're both, adorable and powerful at the same time, especially with all of the new moves that they got. And then as for the version exclusives, none of them really stood out to me except for one specific one, and that's the reason why I had to choose Let's Go Eevee, and that's because of that guy right there. Vulpix and Ninetales are absolutely fantastic. They're probably in my top 10 favorite Pokemon, just because of how Ninetales plays such a big role in the first Mystery Dungeon game, which is how I choose a lot of my favorite Pokemon, now that I think about it. But I think that the Ninetales lines is absolutely great, and so I have to choose Eevee over Pikachu. But if you have Pokemon Go on your phone, then you could probably just catch them and move them into either game. So it's not as big of a concern as version exclusives were in former generations and former games. Keeping it short, how did you feel about Let's Go? I thought the games were really good additions to the franchise. They have their own special quirks and problems that all Pokemon games have, but I think if we look in 5-10 years, we're going to look back at this game just like we kind of look back at a lot of generations and kind of skim over their bad problems and look focusing on the good stuff. Sort of like how Let's Go was closer to a realistic Pokemon world than I think any other game has really been, because of the actual throwing mechanism. And although it's a bit wonky at times from what I've seen, it still is a really good addition to the franchise, and I think it's a really good game. Name a channel, preferably smaller, that I think my audience would love. Well, I have to go, in my opinion, with this guy right here, Poke Professor Marcus. He does YouTube and he does Twitch. He does a lot more Twitch streaming than YouTube, so I guess this is kind of a cop-out answer, but he does post YouTube videos, and he's such an entertaining individual that I would subscribe to him just to listen to him talk, so let alone his actual playthroughs. He's a lot more on the competitive side of Pokemon than I am. I don't really dive into that too much. He does a lot more competitive stuff, so I would recommend checking him out as well. The final question of this is to tag 3 people. Unfortunately, I do not know people, so I'm going to be calling out random individuals that probably won't recognize this video even exists. But here we go. I'm going to tag, obviously, Poke Professor Marcus to see if he does this. I'm going to tag a huge channel. Why not mention Pokemon, the channel that I mentioned earlier, see if he does this video as well. And last but not least, I guess I'll tag you. If you're watching this video right now and you have even a smidge of an interest in creating a Pokemon channel, I recommend that you create it and go ahead and I'm tagging you in this video. Send it to me via Twitter or something like that, and I'd love to check it out. I've been subscribing to everybody making these Wants to Battle tags because I think all of them are going to be great YouTubers in the next year. And so I hope that if you're interested in making this, you create it as well. Thank you very much for watching this video and for supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form that you can. And until next time, Wigglytuff, you want to take this one away? Also, if you're at the video at this point, I'm going to be doing that same thing that Jacksepticeye does with that little snippet at the end of each video. I guess that beep is going to be the snippet. If you hear beep, if you heard the beep, leave in the comment section the word beep in a sentence, and I'll know that you made it to this part of the video. Awesome, thanks, bye.